Tony had a vague idea about flashbacks. And it was something about I had a family that was killed or something, like a normal revenge story. Then he came up with that actually it's the girl's revenge.
And just like that, Kleya's story changed. But what's most impressive is that no one really saw how far it would go, at least not to the extent of this.
She's got to run because she's got to get that message back to Yavin. She can't get caught. And that's what blows my mind about the fact that Kleya is the person that gets the information about the Death Star to Yavin. It's all been part of one big lie. It's all about this weapon.
By this conversation in the second to last episode of Star Wars Andor, we know the many complex and brilliant layers of this character. But what many don't realize is that if you paid attention, all of this could be seen from the very beginning, starting right here.
New driver.
Anyone we know?
Never seen him.
Even if Kleya Marki, for most of the series from a visual and storytelling perspective, was portrayed as a complementary character to Luthen, she always gave off a unique feel.
So much enigma when you're acting with her. It haunts you the way she delivers lines, you know?
The actress Elizabeth Dulau nails the role of someone who never lets her guard down.
I think there's a lot to her that she keeps deeply hidden.
Someone quietly carrying her past, hiding her flaws, and always seeming like the smartest person in the room. Yet with just 16 minutes of screen time in the first season, it was easy to see her role as just another interesting but supporting one. To most viewers and even the characters in the show, Axis felt like Luthen's operation with this assistant in the background.
I gave him Aldani. What have you done lately?
But like I said, if you looked closer, the quote-unquote real Kleya was always there.
I don't have lately. I have always. I have a constant blur of plates spinning and knives on the floor and needy, panicked faces at the window, of which you are but one of many.
She might have a lead.
More likely it's the ISB working her radio.
You're guessing.
And you're slipping.
However, one important detail was missing, and it was context. Who were these two crazy, determined and very serious people? And above all, why are they doing this? Information the creator of the show, Tony Gilroy, obviously chose to hide to create a special kind of reaction in that phenomenal flashback episode. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. First, we have to discuss the early parts of Season 2 and the importance of it.
On the surface, she comes across as very controlled.
I've been down there scrubbing frequencies all day.
And quite cold.
I'm looking for a drink. The monitor's on. Hope for the best.
The beginning of the second season felt different. The stakes were higher, the characters more tense, which was interesting because it let us see Luthen, but especially Kleya, under pressure. Suddenly we understood how skilled she was with the radio. What happened when things didn't go as expected.
Do as I say and everything will be fine.
And how her determination always found a way of achieving what she wanted.
It's very special.
Why?
It's a book. You read by touch.
By the way, I think this is a very underrated scene from Lonnie's perspective, highlighting yet again that he actually was a pretty significant and tragic factor in making this rebellion work. But that's a topic for another video. Instead, let's look at this conversation between Kleya and Cassian before he goes off to save Mon Mothma.
I'm not coming back. I'm done after this.
Can I guess? You're tired. It's too much. It's too hard. You were a witness to the Gorman massacre. One would think there'd be no stopping you. The senator you'll be saving is about to risk everything, putting a voice to the atrocity you just survived.
I need to start making my own decisions.
I thought that's what we were fighting for.
At this moment in their relentless battle against the Empire, it almost feels like the characters are talking to themselves, trying to persuade one another that it's still worth it, even if they are exhausted. Yet the more the season went on, the more everyone lost focus and meaning, the more Kleya began to shine, like she had been born to do this, something episode 10 confirmed quite convincingly.
Promise me if it doesn't look perfect, you won't engage.
I think we used up all the perfect.
It is not a father-daughter relationship. Because for it to become that, it would mean that Kleya forgives him for having done that to her family.
Am I your daughter now?
What it's useful?
I have to think about that.
Like Elizabeth explains here, even after the backstory, it's hard to figure out this relationship. There are so many feelings clashing together, somehow united and formed as a cause of hate for how the Empire has destroyed their lives. And that's why it's such a perfect episode, in that it gives us just enough clues to understand their reasons and their previous actions in the show.
All you know now is how much you hate. You bank that, you hide that. You keep it alive until you know what to do with it.
Suddenly you view Axis as a collaboration that began when they met, an equation that wouldn't have worked without Luthen, but also something that definitely wouldn't have worked without Kleya.
I wake up every day to an equation I wrote 15 years ago from which there's only one conclusion. I'm damned for what I do.
You begin to see Luthen's motivations not as singular, but split, driven by the rebellion, yes, but also by a quiet promise to Kleya.
I'm only afraid of what I'm doing to you.
I know what I want.
And then it hits you. Part of the reason he burned his life away wasn't just for the cause. It was so the sun could rise for someone else.
I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see.
To Luthen, Kleya can almost be seen as a symbolic extension of himself, the part that pushes him forward. In reality, that day he didn't just find a little girl on that transport. He found his conscience, his soul.
He would not have become that revolutionary without Kleya. She's the one that is fierce.
From this point of view, Kleya doesn't just become an important part of the rebellion, she also becomes Luthen's emotional devil, the living embodiment of his guilt, his mistakes and his now purpose, portrayed in a girl that presumably lost her friends and family because of the army he was a part of. And in retrospect, it makes so much sense. She is his compass, always stepping in just as he starts to wear off in the wrong direction.
I'm not slipping.
I know. I just need you to wake up. There's a lot to do.
And it's not simply because they have found some sort of a bond between them, rather because Luthen owes it to Kleya to follow through and to succeed in their combined fight against this evil regime. As a result, and I know this might sound a little strange, I almost see these two as one. The architect of the rebellion that designed its early and vital stages. And even though Luthen seemed to get all the credit for what they achieved, it's Kleya who gets to see the result. She's the one who feels it. In the bad.
Oh, I know about Yavin. I know all about it. I know what they think of Luthen.
But more importantly, in the good.
None of this exists without him. None of us are here.
Just keep spreading, doesn't it?
It's been hard to contain.
I don't even really know where I am.
I have friends everywhere. You're here with friends.
Yet it still frustrates me a bit, even after everything. In my opinion, she remains underrated. From the characters in the show and their point of view, it's still all about Luthen.
Who's Kleya?
Luthen's assistant.
Will you drink to Luthen? Can't toast them all, can we?
Gorn, Nemik, Taramin,
Simba.
the Gormans, Ferrex, your mother, the Darnies.
Aldani.
And reminiscing about all the stuff she made it through, even if she is still alive, I think we should toast to Kleya too. Here you have another video about Star Wars Andor. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.